This is Kelso Surgeon. Thank you very much for joining me for another day at my college advanced football handicapping. A giant week ahead of us. Now this report covers games from Thursday, October the 4th through Saturday. I will be back here on Sunday morning with a complete NFL report. Just to make sure that you're aware, on Saturday I'm releasing my 200-unit college football game of the year, looking for a 5 or 6 touchdown blowout winner. I think that this game will win just as easily as did last week's 200-unit college blowout game of the year, where Louisiana Monroe beat Tulane by 53 points. I mean that. A lot of people don't quite understand why I consider myself the best big game handicapper in the country, but I have a formula that is almost foolproof. No silver bullet, but almost foolproof. I find games on many weekends that have a 100% chance to win, period, no questions asked, no chance to lose, and a 90% chance to cover the number. And to reach that point, and this is where my game of the year comes in and the points that it reaches. In that game, there has to be a power against weakness formula, one that I've used for 5 years now very successfully. The team that I'm releasing must have the outstanding quarterback playing against a quarterback that is very modest in his credentials. It must have an outstanding running game that is dramatically better than the modest game of the other side. It must have game-breaking players to absolutely none for the other side. It must have an experienced offensive line that has been getting it done, playing a team that has an offensive line that is very suspect. And then, last but not least, one has to play defense to win in college football. So defense is very, very important. So if you take the team that has the best quarterback, the best running game, the most game-breaking players, the best offensive line, and the best defense, you're on to something big. And if those differences are great enough, you can come up with a 100-unit play, a 200-unit play, or whatever. And that's what I'm doing on Saturday. I'm releasing a team that has all 5 of those things working in its favor. And I'm not whistling into the night when I say that I'm looking for a 5, 6, 7 touchdown winner in this game, just as Louisiana Monroe did last week against Tulane. Don't miss the game. It'll be available the first thing Saturday morning on my website, on this website, or toll free at 1-800-755-2255. As always, the price is just $50 charged to your major credit card. Also, then on Sunday, by the way, I've got a special Saturday night special on Saturday night also. On Sunday, coming right back with a 50-unit triple power play in the NFL, and on Monday another 50-unit play, my Monday night game of the month. Got the cash last week with the underdog Chicago Bears and their outright 34-18 win over the Dallas Cowboys. But let's get to college football for this weekend. There's 6 really important games on the schedule this week, and I'll just comment briefly about all of them. Georgia's at South Carolina. This game opened with South Carolina -3. It's now South Carolina -1.5, as the money is shown for Georgia. Georgia will be without its best receiver, but has some outstanding running backs. Whether I have an opinion on this game, I'll decide between now and game time. West Virginia, Texas. Both these teams undefeated. Texas by a gift from the officials at Oklahoma State last week. They should have lost. This game opened Texas 7. It's now 6.5 and 7. The only thing I have to say about this game is I don't know how West Virginia can keep winning, giving up all the points that it gives up. Michigan at Purdue, the acid test for Michigan. Michigan opened 3 and is now and has remained 3. Oklahoma State at Texas Tech. This is a game I'm watching very closely because I think Texas Tech might be something special. This game opened Oklahoma State 4.5. Oklahoma State is now 5.5. I mean Oklahoma, not Oklahoma State. I apologize. Nebraska at Ohio State, another important game. Ohio State opened 4.5. The money is shown for Nebraska. It's now 3.5. LSU at Florida. LSU opened 3, now 2.5. I'm going to use this game in one of my in my Best Bets Club service on Saturday. Have a very strong opinion about it, and you can win it with me. You know, the one thing I'd like to point out in handicapping football, you know, there's an old saying among liars, fools, and politicians that perception is reality. Well, you can just throw that in the trash can when it comes to handicapping football. Perception is not reality in football handicapping. Reality is reality in football handicapping. And as I noted in a column this week on my website, you absolutely have to handicap a team as it is today, not what it was yesterday, not what you think it'll be tomorrow. Perception means nothing. A team is what it is today. Don't forget it as you handicap this weekend's card. Make the most of every single week, because every time a week goes by in handicapping football, there's one less week to make money. Position yourself every week to make money in how you evaluate and rate the games and how you wager on them. You know, some people on a Saturday, for instance, and this is not what I do, but some people on Saturday will bet the early games that they like, and if they win, they stop. And if they lose the early games, they double up on the late games or whatever. That gives them a certain degree of control over their money. There's a lot of ways to position yourself to win, and you need to do that every single weekend. Now, we have the issue of homecoming. There's 16 homecoming games this weekend, including California at UCLA. And by the way, California is 8-2-1 against the spread in its last 11 games against UCLA. Also of note, we have Temple has its homecoming game 7-4 straight up, 8-2-1 in its last 11 home games. Penn State homecoming against Northwestern, and you have a situation here where Penn State is 40-6 in its 46 homecoming games. I don't know what all that means. There have been 7 homecoming games played thus far. All 7 teams won. All 7 home teams won. They went 5-3 against the number. I don't know whether there's an edge there or not. Now let's close out with some individual thoughts on some teams, because what they do today might relate to what I have to say. You know, I don't think there's any question at all that Arkansas has quit on itself. The team members have quit on one another. They've quit on the coach. And Arkansas is off limits, either to bet on or to bet against for the rest of the season, as far as I'm concerned. And let's throw a few kudos to the way of the Western Kentucky football coach. This guy is really special. He has taken a team that was life and death to win at the 1AA level 5 years ago, to where they have beaten Kentucky, beaten Southern Mississippi, played well in Alabama. 3 cheers to him, and I'm sorry his name slipped my mind. He'll probably be the next coach at the University of Kentucky. I think it's safe to say that the new coach at Illinois is off to a terrible start, might not make it through the season. Also a surprise is Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech is a big favorite over UNLV this week at home. This is a team that conceivably could end up the season running the table, not losing a single game. This is a very good team, a very solid offensive team that runs the ball better than anybody in the country. I think that you've got to consider the fact that Navy, which is an 8-point underdog at Air Force this week, just simply might be as bad as it's looked in its big games. Don't have much confidence in this team. Air Force is always tough at home. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but I'm just saying that Navy is not the same team that we've seen in the past. Nevada's in a position to bury Wyoming this week, too, if it so chooses to do that. Northwestern off to a 5-0 start, 5-0 straight up, 5-0 against the number at Penn State, where it's an underdog. Oregon State has won its first 3 games all as an underdog and might be a very dangerous team in the Pac-10. San Jose State, dramatically underrated. Pay attention to when San Jose State plays. You know, the University of Central Florida is a much better team than its 2-2 record. Their losses have come to Ohio State, at Ohio State and at home to Missouri. West Virginia 4-0 but 1-3 against the number. Oh, by the way, the name of the Western Kentucky coach is Willie Taggart, and as I say, Kentucky would be good to hire him as its next football coach. We have Wisconsin and Illinois. I'm anxious to see how Wisconsin bounces back after that stunning loss at Nebraska after it blew a big lead. We already know that Illinois is not much. Also, I think that Massachusetts has improved dramatically. Might want to pay attention to them. And last but not least, if there's a worse coach in the college football than the guy coaching New Mexico State, please let me know who it is. This guy is absolutely clueless, and the Aggies just keep losing, and everybody just keeps laughing. Last but not least, let me remind you again, Saturday, my 200-unit college football game of the year. Intend to win by 5, 6, maybe even 7 touchdowns. Thursday night, intend to go to sweep the board with a side and total parlay on the Arizona Cardinals St. Louis Rams game. And 10 units on the side, 10 units on the total, 5 units on the parlay. Also releasing a 10-unit play on the Southern Cal-Utah game. Get all those games tomorrow night. 25-unit plays on both games. All my games are available on this website and toll free at 1-800-755-2255. I take all credit cards. I thank you very much for watching today. Let's go get the money, and remember, I'll be back here on Sunday morning with my